What I love about New Albany is the 4th of July parade.
Sports.
Starbucks. My other home.
Very supportive to my business, and I think businesses in the area kind of all look out for each other.
Everything.
Yeah. Do we need to do anything else to get going, or?
No, that's it. We're recording.
Oh, I know. Okay, cool.
Yeah,
Awesome.
so I feel like every podcast I try something different, and I just came from youth football camp, so I'm gross, dirty, I smell, and I wasn't going to set up 2 cameras, so we're just using 1 camera now, and I'm actually recording the audio on that camera. So
Oh, okay, perfect.
I typically have my laptop here, and then it's like, but I think it's kind of, I don't know, I end up with 2 recordings. So
it's
too redundant.
yeah, exactly. That's the word.
So Katie, thanks for coming on. I can't really welcome you to BrickHouse Blue. You were here first.
Yeah, and the desk right by the podcast studio. So.
Absolutely. So how long have you been at BrickHouse Blue?
I've been at this location since I moved back to the country in February, but previously I was staying with my parents for stints of time and would work out of the location in Dublin.
Nice. Mm-hmm. And moved here from Madrid, right?
Madrid, correct, yes. So I was in Madrid for 2 years prior to moving back to Columbus. So was in Columbus, moved to Madrid, and then now I'm back. Yeah,
what were you doing there?
I was working first for a consulting firm, and then I switched to a startup remotely. And so I was working for the startup from Spain, but it's Texas-based. So I was able to do that, and also at the same time I had to work East Coast hours. So I was working like 3 p.m. to midnight in Spain, more or less, which was worth it for a time. But after a while, I was really craving more community because I had great friends and community there. But at the same time, when they're working when I'm off and I'm working when they're off, it is hard to see people. Even Friday nights, I was working till late, so it was hard to juggle.
Yeah, I bet. What did you like about it, or not like about it?
About Spain?
Yeah.
So my story with Spain goes back way further than the past 2 years. So I first went to Spain in 2011 to learn Spanish for a month. So I did a Spanish program. I convinced my parents because I said I needed it for college applications. And so they're like, okay, but we've never been to Europe, but sure, we'll let you go for this month-long program to learn Spanish if it'll help you get into a good college. So meanwhile, I was a very type A driven student, obsessed with getting into, again, a great university. And so I went to Spain and was just in complete shock by the difference in the style of life and the pace of life, and went through that month living on the beach, learning Spanish. I mean, life was pretty good. And I came back from that and told my parents I wanted to live in Spain forever. And they were like, you need to chill out, like calm down. Like they kept joking, like Summer of George from Seinfeld. They kept calling it the Summer of Katie. Mm-hmm. And so they're like, this was your summer, like get over it, like stop. And so I was like, oh, well, how am I going to get back? I was trying to scheme all these different ways. And then I went through my junior year of high school. And then at the end of my junior year, my dad announced that we were moving to England. So we moved around a lot when I was a kid, lived in a lot of different places around the U.S., but we had never lived abroad. And he said, we're moving to England. He actually told me right before I was going to prom. Like literally before I was walking out the door, he said, don't tell anyone because I haven't gotten to talk to your mom yet, but we're moving to England. And I was like, about to cry in my dress. And so that was kind of a bump in the road with the senior year of high school. And so I said, instead of moving to England, I would really like to do an exchange program for a year in Spain, graduate technically from my high school in the U.S., in St. Louis at the time. And so I convinced them to do that because I think they were just so overwhelmed in general with it. Yeah. They had never been to England before, so they were signing up to move there without ever having been. And so they're like, you know what, whatever. And I was just a very headstrong child even at that age. So I went and lived with a family in Spain. Best family ever. The best thing that could have ever happened to me. It was 4 kids, but they were much older than me. And the mom of the house was a widow. So she just was really looking for a lot of company and just treated me so well. And then after that, my parents were still living in England when I went off to college. And so every time I would go back to England to visit my parents during summer break and the holidays, I would also go down to Spain to visit my host family. And so kept in contact with them that way, and then studied abroad in Spain again in college, just couldn't get enough. Had friends from high school that I was able to then meet up with in college. And so it was just a never-ending story. Went on to work after school and spent all my time saving up to make it back to Spain. And all my friends were kind of just like, okay, when are you going to get back here as a working adult? And so when the opportunity arose in 2020, end of 2022, I jumped on it.
Yeah.
And so that was kind of my story around Spain. Long-winded, but it's been a beautiful relationship between Spain and me.
Do you think you'll go back?
I have stopped making statements like that because I have always loved Spain, as I mentioned, but after graduating, I went to Vanderbilt. After graduating from Vanderbilt, I said, I'm moving to New York and I'm never living anywhere else. And so I made that very definitive statement. And then I ended up really getting tired of it after 3 years and wanting a change. That was also January 2020, which was a very serendipitous time to decide to leave New York. And so my lease ended January 31st, 2020. And I said, I'll just stay with my parents until I figure out where I want to live. And then all my friends were also home with their parents because it was the pandemic. So crazy times. So I said I was always going to live in New York. And then I moved back and I then was looking at moving to Spain. And I said, I'll always be in Spain. And then things happened. I decided to come back home. So I'm just kind of like, let's just see how it goes. But I mentioned I'm going back on Friday to visit, and all of my friends there are conspiring to try to get me to move back.
To kidnap you.
And I just made this huge international move, which is stressful in many different ways. So I'm like, I'd really rather not.
Yeah. So what brought you to BrickHouse Blue? So you said that you work remotely. So how long have you been with the company? What is it? What do you do? And then what brought you here to BrickHouse? Because you're here independently, right? It's not like the company is here.
No, the company is not here. So the company that I work for is called Sigo Seguros. It's an insurance technology startup specifically for Hispanic working class and immigrant communities in Texas.
What's the name of it again?
Sigo, Sigo. And then Seguros, which is insurance in Spanish. And so it helped also that I knew Spanish, got fluent. So that was really nice. And I had insurance experience previously from work I'd done at an insurtech actually here in town. So I got hired on with them, and we are all remote. We get together for retreats 2-3 times a year to see each other in person. But other than that, I love the flexibility of being able to work wherever. But that being said, I was missing out on community and really feeling lonely working from home, starting in Madrid. So then I started to go to a WeWork in Madrid and really enjoyed that experience. But at the same time, I was still mostly there by myself because everyone would leave at 6 p.m. That or all of them would have happy hour at the WeWork, and I was just with my headphones on trying to have meetings. So I enjoyed that experience. So then I knew when I came back, I wanted to have some sort of co-working experience. It just worked out that my parents lived close to the other location in Dublin, and then I was looking at where to move. And then apart from my BrickHouse Blue kind of decision of where I was going to work out of, I started working at a studio that just opened up here in New Albany called Soma Lab Fitness, and they're right down the road. So I knew I was moving back to Columbus. I didn't know where in Columbus I wanted to live. And I really had enjoyed working at a BrickHouse Blue, but I was kind of like, maybe I'll move back downtown where I was before. Maybe I'll live on the west side, who's to say? And then this opportunity arose with a former instructor of mine to teach Legree and yoga at Soma Lab Fitness. And so I said, if I'm going to be teaching at the studio, I like New Albany a lot. I haven't spent that much time there, but I like what I know about it.
Yeah.
I'm going to be working evenings, and I don't really want to be fighting a ton of traffic. Let me check out the area. And then I was speaking to the folks at BrickHouse Blue in Dublin, and they said, well, we're opening up a location there. And so it just all kind of came together at the exact right time.
Yeah.
And I've been really happy here ever since.
So you came early when this opened, right? When it opened?
Yeah, pretty much. I remember I was here before the grand opening, and it's really filled out, which is great to see. It was so fun. Yesterday we had a potluck, and the kitchen was absolutely full. It was awesome.
Really?
Yeah, it was really
awesome.
good. I didn't win. My dish didn't win, but I'm not bitter about it.
What did you make?
I made buffalo chicken dip.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
I love buffalo chicken dip.
It's a staple, but I think I could have gotten a little more creative. That would have gotten me some more points. We're going to have a rematch in August, though. So
nice. Who won? What won?
Dylan won with these no-bake peanut butter chocolate bars. They were really good. I mean, kind of cheating. Yeah, dessert is cheating. That's how I feel as well. And I'm more of a baker than a cook, than a chef. So if I would have known we were baking, we would have had an actual match. But it was really fun. It's fun to see the place really filling up.
Yeah, I saw the potluck and I was like, oh man, that'd be cool to come check out, but didn't work out. So working at a BrickHouse Blue, but you're also doing, you said Legree, which is, I have no idea what that is.
So Legree is a method started by Sebastian Legree, who used to be a Pilates instructor and then was kind of trying to blend Pilates principles, because Pilates is based in roots in rehab for folks of all ages and all abilities. And so that it's got rehabilitation roots, and he was teaching Pilates and finding that it wasn't challenging enough and people were not getting a true workout. And so he wanted to blend Pilates with strength training principles. So he was inspired by the Pilates reformer. So it looks like Pilates if you would just look at the machine, but it's much more intense and really built on those strength training principles. So I found that in 2021 and have been doing it ever since, both here and then I've done it in Madrid as well. So yeah, I really enjoy it. It's a great workout. It's also low impact, which I think is, and like very high intensity at the same time. So that's been cool. And then I also teach yoga there, which I've been doing since 2021 as well.
Cool.
Yeah.
Really nice.
Yeah.
I have not done yoga or Legree. Kind of scared.
Well, you got to come. I have a code for you. Yeah. It's not scary at all. We try to make it really not so intimidating. We also offer intro classes for people specifically who are new to the method. But yeah, I will say, I always say this to new people, which I don't know if it's the best thing to say, but I just always like people to set their expectations that it's a lot at first. So you're going to be a little confused. Everything has a name, and the people that know the names who've been coming, you say wheelbarrow, and they know exactly what they're supposed to do. And you're like, what, are we gardening? Like, I'm so confused. So like, if you have that level of expectation, then anything above that is just going to be icing on top. So I think that's definitely the way to come into it. But it's a really great workout. Yeah. I highly recommend.
Yeah, I should try it out. And then you do a class like in here, right? Or so not just in the studio, but here at BrickHouse Blue.
Correct. So that was something that we wanted to offer to the folks at BrickHouse Blue to kind of give a taste of what Soma Lab Fitness is by doing yoga in the Fillmore, so in the space that you can overlook the water here at BrickHouse Blue, which is really nice. And we try to make it a little more approachable. So also in case folks want to go back to working afterwards, I try not to have everybody sweating a ton. The room at Soma Lab Fitness is a heated room too, so it's a little different. So the intensity is definitely lower here, but it gives folks an kind of a preview. So you should definitely check that out. If you're intimidated by coming to the studio, starting at BrickHouse Blue is a good idea.
Yeah, and that room is awesome. We've talked, I don't know how many times we've talked about it, or everybody that comes in here is like, this is crazy.
It is crazy, and it's just nice, and then I'll use all this visualization of like, imagine your head and neck are a waterfall and the tension's just running off as you're forward, like you're in your forward fold, like kind of bring the room in with the space, so it's fun.
Yeah, that would be really cool.
Yeah.
Well, so tell me more about you. So you live on this side of town now, right? Mm-hmm. What do you like to do around here? Like or you've got a dog, right? That's about all I know about you because I've seen your dog.
Yeah.
Her.
So it's a girl. Her name's Sally. And
Sally, that's right.
Her full name's Salchicha, which means sausage in Spanish, and that's like what they would call. You know how we call them wiener dogs? Yep. They would call them perro salchicha. So like, it was funny. I got her actually when I was living in New York, and so it was funny there. And then in Spain, it'd be like having a dog named Dog. They're like, what do you like? Duh. Yeah. Like, yeah, why? But she's the best. So I actually got her in 2018, and I was working in consulting, traveling every week, and I just kind of was like, I want a dog. I'm gonna do it. And so she would come with me every week to the client site. And she was kind of the mascot for whatever project team I was on for consulting. Funny. So like for a while I was importing her to Canada every week because I had a project in Toronto. But no, she's the best. She just goes with me everywhere. She moved with me then to Spain. She has traveled probably more than most people. And now she's settled in New Albany and she loves her New Albany life.
That's awesome.
So what we like to do, I mean, we love to walk. All the trails around New Albany are just so nice. And we live in a pretty walkable area, so that's great to be able to get out with her. And then apart from that, I'm at the studio 6 days a week. I'm working from BrickHouse Blue, and when I'm not doing that, I love going around town, trying out new restaurants in New Albany or around Columbus. And I've been trying to get more into tennis, so I used to play tennis a lot, and so I'm getting back into that. So
not pickleball?
Everyone says pickleball.
Everybody's on it.
I really want to get more of the cardio. So the pickleball is great, and I think it's awesome that people are kind of picking it up. But at the same time, I really love tennis, and so I think both are fun to play with friends, and would probably get more friends to play with me if I suggested pickleball versus tennis. But no, I've enjoyed picking that back up, and so that's been fun to do. And then I've been baking, as I mentioned. So again, if the baking would have been the potluck, I would have crushed it. But so I've always loved to bake, and my mom is a really good baker. She actually used to sell her pumpkin rolls at a farmer's market, like a local farmer's market, not here in town. Again, moved all over. So, but so I've learned a lot from her, and would bake a lot in Spain because I missed a lot of the U.S. baked goods, and like weren't as red. Like you can just get like a sheet cake. A lot of places, then it didn't taste the same. So I was like, again. Bringing over like powdered sugar, so it tasted like from home, which also looked a little suspect in my suitcase. But anywho, but yeah, so I was baking a lot in Spain for my Spanish friends. They loved everything that I would bake, and so I would try to bring it back here and stay in the habit of baking a ton. And so recently my friend had her bridal shower, and I offered to bake like a tiered wedding cake for it.
Oh, wow.
And so the folks at BrickHouse Blue were loving that because I was like, it has to be perfect. So I was doing so many different test cakes that I was bringing in. I also didn't want this friend to find out because it was a surprise for her.
So you're bringing them in here.
Yeah, I was bringing them in here, testing it out, and they would give me feedback. I'm like, no, guys, I don't want you to just tell me these are all great. Like, I need specific feedback so I can get to the right recipe. And we got there. And then I made her cake, and she was like, I can't believe you made that. Other people were like, I thought that was professionally made. I was like, okay, keep telling me good stuff. But I think I baked a little too close to the sun because now other people are reaching out asking if I can bake their cakes, which I would love to do and I want to do. But at the same time, it takes a lot of time.
I can only imagine. Yeah. My wife loves to bake too. Actually, her and her mom are baking cookies right now for a wedding.
Okay.
I've joked about this on other episodes, like from Northeast Ohio, Youngstown. Every wedding has cookie tables.
Yeah. It's a big Italian thing, right?
It is, yeah. And so that's what they're doing. They're baking. She's making tatas.
Okay.
It's like a crumbly white. I don't like them at all. You dip them in coffee. I don't.
Yeah, it's more like a breakfast cookie.
Yeah, I don't get them. But so that's what they're making today. It's cool. Do you get into baking like any kind of outside of like desserts? Do you do breads?
I've tried to get more into breads. I just that's like kind of the phase 2 for me. I feel like I'm picking up a lot of pandemic hobbies way late. So like I really want to get into bread making, and I also really want to do needle pointing. So I guess it's like all these grandma hobbies that I'm starting to pick up. But yeah, no, I definitely do. I've also randomly been like making a lot of butter and like buttermilk things, like churning my own butter because I found out that you could churn butter in a KitchenAid. My brother was making so much fun of me for it, and so were my parents. But I was like, no, it's just like if I have leftover cream that I want to use, I'll make butter, and then I'll make biscuits from it, and like
nice.
So it's fun. Yeah.
You're like homesteading.
I know, but it's like so funny because it's completely opposite of my personality otherwise. Like head of finance at a startup, and then I'm just like churning butter. Like what's happening? But I mean, I contain multitudes, I guess.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, that's great. Really cool. What parks do you and Sally like to go to?
So she's got little legs.
Yeah.
Short legs, long body. She doesn't make it that far.
Yeah.
We have gone to Bevelheimer a few times, but really we just kind of walk in the neighborhood. Yeah. That's her thing. But she used to love good ale back in the day when we were living kind of like Victorian Village, Italian Village area. But I mean, it's when I have to get in the car at this point, I've gotten so spoiled from living in Europe and like being able to walk everywhere. Like in Spain, I did not even have a car. So this has all been a bit of an adjustment, getting back, buying a car, getting used to driving again. So the idea of driving to take her to a park, I'm just like, oh.
Yeah.
But like when we lived in Spain in Madrid, we lived right by the huge park there. El Retiro is the name of it. And so like there, I could also let her off leash and she would just run and like it was really fun. Yeah.
What are some similarities? Like, I'm just curious. Like, you love Spain. When you moved back here, what was it about New Albany? Like, were there similarities? Were there, I guess, what like lent that to New Albany?
I think that what I really appreciated about New Albany was the walkability of the downtown and like the area where I live in, because I was used to, again, being able to walk places. Yeah. And I think also I appreciated the strong community of New Albany specifically, and Columbus and Ohio, just like the sense, because Spain is just such a more community-based culture than in the United States as a whole, stereotyping. Like, if a grandma in Spain sees you walking without a coat and it's cold outside, she's going to come up to you and say, where's your coat? Yeah. And, like, give you shit for it. So, sorry, I don't know if I'm supposed to curse.
No, you can.
Okay. So, like, that is just something that, you always feel like people are looking out for you. You always feel like there's community and people will just make conversation with you.
Yeah.
No matter what. And so I do think that is something that I've found a lot in the studio in New Albany has been a great community as well. I don't think that people are just coming up and speaking to you on the street as much, but a little wave here or there goes a long way. In BrickHouse Blue, I find, I've made great friends with the staff and then also people working at the space. So that's been nice. Just again, creating that sense of community here that I had in Spain is really cool.
Yeah. It seems like post-COVID, we're just not as friendly as we used to be.
I don't know. I feel like I learned from my parents to never meet a stranger, and so I always would joke that my dad's best friend was the woman at the checkout at Lowe's, because he would go to Lowe's a lot back in the day, and he would always take us, and she would know his whole life. Yeah. But my parents never met a stranger, and that was something that they really actually contrasting different countries. They really struggled with going from the Midwest to England. Because, everyone in England is very friendly or very, polite and sweet, but, they are very much focused on themselves. It's a little more, New York-esque vibes. Not mean, just, not open and warm in that way. And so my mom would try to, have her friends at the grocery store at the checkout line, and everyone was just like, okay, hand me your milk. I'm going to check that out now. So I think that was a little more isolating for them, but it is cool. I will say it is special, too. There's a lot of these, in any of these countries where if there's big expat communities, it's really special to be connected based on that, too. So when I go back to Spain for this wedding that I have that I'm leaving for next week, I'll see a lot of my Spanish friends that are from high school and college and beyond. But then also I have a lot of friends that I made just from being part of the expat community. And we're all very, very different people, to be honest, but we're all brought together by the fact that we're in this kind of crazy experience, and can share ideas, share advice. How do you do taxes in two countries? How do you find an English-speaking doctor? All those things. It's pretty cool. Yeah.
So what did you say? Expat?
Expatriate.
Oh. I was gonna say, wait, what is this? No. I can't imagine living in a different country. I can't wrap my head around it. I barely know English. I know 10 words in Spanish. It's got to be a challenge. I know what it's like at a Mexican restaurant trying to order food. Obviously knowing Spanish is probably the biggest obstacle to going to another country. Being bilingual has got to be a huge advantage.
It is, but it isn't, because also just things work differently.
Yeah.
And also it's the people in Spain are very approachable, but anything that you have to do with the government is so difficult and convoluted. And so just learning how to work different systems in different countries and, oh, you needed to get a number. I grabbed my number. They called my number. Oh, you're here for the wrong thing. Oh, you don't have that specific document in 2 copies. You need to come back. Very antiquated in the processes. And so that was something that I will not miss.
Yeah.
And that's the other thing is I think that was ultimately what caused me to move back. Is it is beautiful to have the experience of living in another country. It's really awesome. I highly recommend it to anybody. But it's more work. It's more work and it's just like anything else in life. If you're going to take the path less traveled or the path that is more resistance, you're going to get more out of it, but you're also going to be having to put more in. If you just stay on the path that's laid out for everyone, do this, do that, stay in the same place, that's also great. But if you're looking to do something else, you're going to have to make effort to get off of the path and to do something else. So with that being said, I was loving the experience in Spain, but at the same time, I felt like I was half in, half out with my schedule. And it's okay, I'm doing all the hard stuff to be here.
Yeah.
I'm dealing with visa renewals. Oh, this certain card that I have to have in my wallet for the healthcare system. I got to renew that. Doing all that, taxes, converting money, all the things. And I was not really fully getting all the benefits. So I'm I could just be in Ohio.
Yeah.
I could just be in Ohio. I could just live an easier life. It could still be very stimulating and interesting. Just those logistics could be taken away completely.
Yeah, I hate going to the BMV, so that would drive me nuts.
Oh, yeah.
I don't even want to renew my license, although you can do it online now, so I don't mind it as much.
Yeah, that part is definitely a benefit. Yeah, and all the things with moving back. We're just like getting a car, all the things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot. That's a lot.
A lot of adult things.
Yeah. Yeah. So the startup that you're with now, or you said you're doing finance with them?
Correct.
So what is the startup? What do they do?
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about them.
So Seago was started by our CEO Nestor. So, and then we have our co-founder Julio as well. So they are both Latinos that had witnessed with their family and friends issues with getting car insurance at a fair price. So I don't know how technical you want to get with it, but basically if you or I were looking to go get car insurance, making assumptions here, but like you could probably go online, put in your information, get a quote online, and then get car insurance.
Yeah.
That's what we call the standard channel. And then there's everything else that gets bucketed into non-standard. So that could be like DUIs, super expensive car, or in the case of some folks who've just arrived to the country, they might not have a credit score.
Yeah.
So because of that, they have to go through the non-standard channel, which typically means going through an agent. A lot of time, agents, I mean, some agents are great, don't get me wrong, but a lot of times that comes with a lot more fees. And then if someone's new to the country, they'll slap on a very hefty surcharge, unfair pricing. And so Nestor was seeing this with his aunt, for example. She had a great driving record, and she was just getting these crazy high premiums, and he was very confused about it. So that was kind of prompting him to think about if there could be a digital option in Spanish to help these folks. And then at the same time, he was noticing that there was a ton of private equity roll-up of agencies with Spanish names because others were finding this out as well. Within non-standard auto, it tends to be a more profitable segment as well. And so the idea is fair price. We don't use credit score to give you a price. We do it all online, so you don't have to go to an agent. You don't have to pay the agency fees. And so it's been really successful. We only sell in Texas right now, but we feel like we have a great population just in Texas to be able to target, but we're hoping to expand to other states. And yeah, I've really enjoyed the work at the company. So I actually came in not as head of finance, but as Nestor, our CEO's chief of staff.
Oh, okay.
Based on my experience in management and strategy consulting, it kind of made sense. So chief of staff everywhere looks a little different, but Nestor has been so gracious, and he really just allows me to come along with him on everything from fundraising. We raised our Series A while I was his chief of staff, to investor relations, to board meeting prep, to the financials, to the model, everything that the company does. I was seeing him do it and then trying to take things off of his plate. Like my mandate was basically like make his life as easy as possible. Yeah. And so that could look like helping with the model, or it could also be like, oh, who does our expense reimbursement? He's like, well, I do it. I'm like, no, now I do it. Like, we're not doing that. Like, the CEO cannot be doing that. Like, bring that, like, give that stuff to me. And then like planning the retreats for the company. So I then got more and more into the finance realm. That was always positioned as a temporary position. And then he said, that the position was of chief of staff was like 18 months to 24 months, and then I would move into a leadership role in the area of the company that it made most sense. And finance was just really like what made the most sense for me. I had an FP&A role previously, and so that's where I kind of shifted. But it's a startup, right? So who was going to take on all that work that I was doing previously? Like, it wasn't going to go back on Nestor's plate, because Nestor also has like a ton of other work to do. And so I still do a lot of that, which I actually really, really enjoy, because there's so much variety in my job, and I get to have a finger on the pulse of everything happening at the company, which I think is super valuable for helping the company to grow, but also in the future. Like, I do have entrepreneurial ambitions, so I'm getting the best boot camp for that right now. For sure.
It's such a cool, startups are such a cool process. Yeah. And then, to get to a point where you're actually raising funds, and like, it's like, wow, this is real. This is going.
Yeah. And I had that experience also when I was at Beam Benefits here in town. So they were previously called Beam Dental. Drive Capital in town invested, and a few other local investors, but then they've also raised quite a bit of money outside of the Columbus area as well. And so I was with them for their series, I believe E and F, and helped with that. But it was a much bigger team, and it's just interesting to see, like, as the company grows, how the fundraising process gets more and more intense, because the check sizes are much bigger.
It gets bigger.
So, but yeah, no, it's really cool. It's been an awesome experience, and we also have great investors that have provide us a bunch of guidance, and They also host a bunch of events with the portfolio companies. So getting to interact with our other portfolio companies is really cool as well.
Yeah, that is kind of neat. I never really thought about that with private equity. Like, yeah, the companies being able to kind of like, again, be part of a community, communicate with each other. And yeah, that's pretty interesting.
Yeah, it's funny. Actually, last week I was in Chicago for one of our investors events, and it was all founders, and there were different discussions on how, and really breakout sessions where the founders were just sharing with each other how they're leveraging AI, how they're dealing, depending on the industry, with tariffs and just different geopolitical strategies that folks are executing, like all knowledge sharing and just coming together with the basic idea of working together to make the entire portfolio more successful, which I think people think of venture capital as just coming in, giving money and taking over control, which it can certainly be that way depending on the actual firm, but that's not been my experience. We have great investors.
That's pretty cool. What does the portfolio look like? Is it a lot of like tech? Is it like what's their portfolio look like?
That specific investor, their portfolio is huge, so it's very
pretty diverse.
Yeah. We have another investor called Listen Ventures, and the whole idea is like listening to the consumer. So they have a lot of consumer brands, and then randomly us, which we are direct to consumer, but it's funny because we're kind of like an outlier. But yeah, it's really cool. They're always, really looking from that consumer perspective and put out a lot of cool research on consumer trends. And so it's great to work with them. We go to their offices also to work when we're in town, and they have a bunch of cool stuff from the consumer brands they work with too, which is a fun experience. Yeah.
Nice. That's great. So what's next for you? Personally, professionally, BrickHouse Blue future? Like what's next? What are we looking forward to?
Well, besides, as I mentioned, just upcoming travel, I am for BrickHouse Blue. Let's start with that one. I have a dedicated desk here. I don't see myself growing in terms of my BrickHouse Blue presence. I don't think I can fit another.
You're not going to get a corner office?
I don't think I need a corner office. I don't think I need another screen. My desk is pretty full of screens because I live in Excel. But I would love to continue to get more involved with the community here, continue to meet more people. I love going to the Tiger Talks. That's been really beneficial and just great to get to know folks through that. So I'd love to continue with that. Want to do more yoga classes. Hopefully you can make one.
Yeah.
So that's something that's new for me in that realm. Professionally, I would love to continue to help grow Seago. I'm really loving my role and continuing to grow in that. And so hopefully we'll get to expand into new states and continue to grow the business in that way. At Soma Lab Fitness, we have Legree and yoga, which I mentioned I teach. I also am getting trained in VersaClimber. So we offer those classes. They're really fun. It's like a silent disco on a VersaClimber. You go to the beat similar to a spin class.
Yeah.
So I just recently got trained in that, so hopefully I'll start teaching those as well.
What is a VersaClimber?
So it's kind of like a stair stepper. You have the pedals of a stair stepper, but then you also have these handlebars that you grab onto, and so it's almost like a crawling motion or a walking motion where opposite hand to opposite foot.
Yeah.
And you go up and down. So it's really effective. The Coast Guard uses it. The Marines use it. Celebrities, athletes. That's
cool.
It's tough. 25 minutes on that thing is really all you need.
Yeah.
So would highly recommend checking out one of those classes. So that's something new for me in that realm. More cakes, I guess. More walks with Sally, but also more rest. I feel like I could use a second to breathe too, because it's been a lot of go. But
yeah, I get that. Trying to schedule this, I'm like, I'm coaching. I got youth camp. I got kids going here. It's madness. And on top of it, it's 100 degrees out.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah. I cannot deal with this heat, but at the same time, having AC, we didn't touch on that difference between Spain and the United States. There's no AC in Spain.
Really?
And if people have AC, they also don't want to use it because utility costs are higher.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I am just such an American in that sense where I would be in a house and just I would rather die. Please put the AC on. But I get it. Again, just a different you can speak the language, but you're not going to fully understand the culture.
Yeah, I can't understand that.
Yeah. So when I'm inside here at BrickHouse Blue, we got a crisp temperature, guys. So.
I don't know. My wife and I, when we first bought our house, it was 15 years ago. For the first 2 or 3 years, we did not have air conditioning, and I had no idea how we did it. We were just super young, and I would not survive if we didn't have it now.
Especially to sleep. Like,
yes.
I can't be hot when I'm trying to go to sleep.
No.
It's just, yeah. No, I do feel like the summers have been hot recently too. That probably is why it's been hard to survive it. But yeah, I think back also when I was in New York, I moved out of my apartment and then the landlord messaged me and he said, "Did you realize that your heat hasn't been working for like 4 months?" And I was like, "Oh," because in New York, the conditions I used to live in New York, it's crazy. And like I was doing like well and living in a quote unquote nice apartment for a young person, but literally you don't control your own heat. Yeah. One day it just kicks on for the building. And you either sweat or you open a window. Like, you just kind of deal with it. So I was like, oh, I guess, like, the heat, this is it. This is my life. And he's like, no, you literally did not have heat. I'm like, oh, okay. Well, but you just kind of deal with it. Like, I don't know. I've gotten more particular in my old age. Yeah. Reminds me of that White Lotus quote from this most recent season where the woman says that she's not fit to live an uncomfortable life anymore. She's just, like, not doing it. I'm like, that's me.
Yeah. No, I mean... With 4 kids, my life just remains uncomfortable. So
I didn't know you had 4 kids.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
4. My oldest is 12.
Okay.
Youngest is 6.
Wow.
Yeah. Craziness.
Awesome. Very fun.
Busy.
Not to do another plug for Soma, but we do have a kids lab. And when I tell you the kids do not want to leave when their parents are finished working out and they go to get the kids from the kids room, they're obsessed. I don't know if they just went really hard with the toys or the people that work the kids room are really fun. I think it's both. They're great. But so yeah, if you ever want to bring the kids in.
Can I just drop them off and not do the workout?
I mean, technically you could, yeah.
Oh, that's cool though. So so you could take kids in there. That's nice. That's good for moms that, come in or dads that have the kids and it's hard to get a workout in.
The best is when they both come in.
Yeah.
We do a little couples date. We see that a lot. Hey. And then the kids are in the kids' room. And yeah, it's really fun. I have a few couples that are my regulars, and it's great to see them together. It's special to me.
Yeah. My wife and I would probably just fight while we're in there. No. Hey, unless you got anything else, I mean, we covered a lot there. You got a lot going on.
Yeah, I mean, I could talk for hours, but maybe we'll do a round 2.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thanks again. I appreciate it. We'll have to do round 2.
Awesome. Yeah, I can tell you about all the places I lived before Spain.
Yeah, that's great.
Awesome.
All right, thanks.
Thank you.
We're back.
Okay.
So this happens all the time. This is the first time that I've got back on. But for whatever reason, like when you sit down and talk, I don't know, like it just feels more like structured. Mm-hmm. And then as soon as everybody takes the headphones off, then it's like you start conversation again.
Right.
So, and I don't put any time limits on these. I don't care if they're a half hour, an hour.
Right.
So I kind of just like wait for a natural place to stop, and then I'm like, all right, well, let's go. But you brought something up that I was like, oh, we definitely got to talk about this. So you donated a kidney.
Correct. Yeah. So I was trying to think about, we were speaking about all these big moments in the past 2 years, and like really right before I moved to Spain, I donated a kidney. So it was kind of weird that it like didn't come up. So that's why it kind of came up after he came off. But yeah, so I donated a kidney to my brother. It was actually his second transplant. So
oh, wow.
It was, that was September of 2023. So it'll be 3 years this September, and he's doing great.
That's good.
Yeah.
So what happened was it just genetics or?
No, thank goodness it wasn't genetics, because if it were, then I wouldn't have been able to donate. So my brother got really sick in 2008, actually, and it was a mixture of pneumonia with a staph infection.
Oh, wow.
And so he went into sepsis, and he's a miracle that he's here, to be honest. And so at that time, because it was really just dire and trying to get blood to his heart and his lungs and his brain, his kidneys just lost a lot of blood and therefore they just stopped working. And so among other things that happened during that time. But so at the end of 2008, because I was like early 2008, my dad went through all the process of donating a kidney to my brother. And during that time, he was on dialysis, which is grueling for sure, especially for he was 10 at the time. And so that kidney worked from 2008 to, I believe, around...
This is your dad's kidney?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah. And so that kidney worked from 2008 to 2022. And then it started to really not work. My brother went back on dialysis, and my mom and I kind of went through the process of doing the testing to see if we were a match. And a lot of people think, and for a lot of people, it is a huge barrier to find a match, but
Yeah.
it's so much more than that. So there's first step obviously is getting a blood test to make sure that you are a match, and there's like different levels of matching too. So it's basically how much your genetics, your blood, not to be gross, is like gonna react, because after you have a kidney transplant or any organ transplant, your body is always going to see that as foreign and try to attack it, which is why you have to take these immunosuppressants your whole life so that your body doesn't attack the organ and reject it, essentially. So they want it to seem as close to your actual body as possible. So that's why family members are often great matches, sometimes not. But in our case, we were really lucky that my mom and I were then also matches. But that's just a little piece of the puzzle, because at the end of the day, something that's super important to organ donation for live donors is making sure that you are going to be okay yourself.
Yeah.
Not just so that you don't come up with the same problem down the line. Like if I donated a kidney to my brother and then eventually I need a kidney, what did we solve here, right? But also they're very, I mean, selfish is not the right word, but the hospitals use their data in every single discussion they have with potential donors, so they don't want to mess up their data. Because, like,
I see.
If I say that these surgeries have great results, then I got to be really careful about who I take a kidney from, so that they, again, don't have those bad outcomes.
Yeah.
Because if one person has a bad outcome and screws up the data a little bit, then, like, think about all those people that may not want to donate.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's not like that they're manipulating the data, but like they're trying to be really intentional, so they're creating more good than harm.
For sure.
So, anywho, I found out that I was a match, but then we went through a whole series of tests, a bunch of blood tests, like I think it was like 23 vials of blood,
Wow.
a bunch of like chest x-ray, all these other tests that I had to do. And then eventually found out that I was a match and also good at, like, healthy enough that I would be able to be successful with one kidney. And so donated to my brother in September. The recovery for me was actually, like, pretty easy. It was much more mental and physical beforehand than anything else. Like, it was just coming to terms with the fact that, like, I'm giving this and, like, it's no longer mine. However my brother chooses to live his life, however, like, he goes on from there, like, you're making this.
There's no going back.
There's no way. And, like, I never felt that way, but it's also just, like, I think it was very difficult for my dad whenever the kidney stopped working, because it was like, oh, like, maybe, like, in some way, like, but it's like you have to have a separation of just, like, you're doing this, and, like, because kidneys or any other organ could work for a day, they could work for a lifetime or somewhere in between. So you really just have to come to terms with the fact that, like, you're doing your best. Like,
Thanks for the crappy kidney, Dad.
No. No. It lasted, honestly, longer than the average. So we're very lucky with that. So, yeah, I mean, you just, like, have to really mentally come to terms with that. And so that was a lot of work. And also just, like, at the same time as you're going through all this, you're seeing your loved one, in my case, like, going through dialysis, dealing with all that. So it's, like, you're very hopeful that everything will work out. So there's just, like, a lot of pressure in that way. And then physically, like, with the test and everything. But then, once everything went, I was, like, a little bit of, like, I basically couldn't lift my dog, which was kind of hard because you can't lift more than 10 pounds. But other than that, it's been really easy ever since. I just have to make sure I stay hydrated and live a healthy lifestyle. But, like, don't we all?
Yeah, I mean, one or two kidneys, you should probably take care of your body.
Exactly, exactly.
So how old is your brother?
He is 27.
Okay.
And I'm 30.
Okay.
So my baby brother.
Yeah. Man, that's cool. I'm sure he's very appreciative.
He is, and I mean, he's such a cool. I mean, he should come on here as well. He doesn't live in the area. We got to get him over here to New Albany, but he's so strong. I mean, you think about going through that at age 10. And that's been like for a while there. It was like every week going to the hospital to check his levels, and just like so resilient. So he's definitely a force, and now he works for our hospital system here in town on the business side. But he's always just wanted to help improve the actual system of a hospital. Didn't want to go to med school, didn't want to go that route. So definitely very happy that he's healthy and things are working out, and now he's living a very full life. So couldn't ask for more.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Pretty crazy. I can't, I don't know. I would do it, I guess, but that's easy for me to say because I'm not in this situation. Like, you know what I mean? And then I would I don't know. It's just, I can't imagine going through that.
Well, also just, I think that I did have the benefit of whenever we were going through it the first time, we were aware that there was always the chance that it could not last forever. Like, they do kind of prepare you for that. So from when he was 10, I was 13 when he went through that. And so I, in the back of my mind, was like, this could be something someday. It's not like in 2022 something dramatic happened at that point, and then I had to. So I kind of
always felt like,
I hoped that it was never necessary because my dad's kidney would work for him forever. But like, I always was like, okay, I need to be healthy. Like, I need to think about the fact that like this might need to go to him, and so I had that time to really, take it all in. So, but I think it's never easy. But also it's really incredible the resources that there are out there and all the people at the hospital that are involved. It's really beautiful. We had a coordinator that helped us through everything, and I just can't say enough about, how attentive everyone was to me as the donor, making sure that I was comfortable, making sure that I had all the information. And so in that regard, I just can't thank everybody enough. But I mean, no one knows how they're going to react to these things until it happens. Like,
no, we're talking about sharing organs. I mean, like, that's crazy to me.
No, it really is. But it's also just like so beautiful what the body can do.
Yeah.
Like, my other kidney, my soul kidney now, it expands like 70% apparently to take on the work of what.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So in that way, it's just like very, very fascinating to me. And very, very cool. So, I mean, and that's why I'm also so passionate at Soma about helping people with their bodies. And that's why I also I'm not the biggest believer in like, let's push fitness classes for like bikini bodies or like for summer, because it's just like the fact that your body can do all of this is incredible. And the fact that you're healthy and able to move is like, I mean, I've looked at my brother and it's not a guarantee. So it's like, let's think bigger picture. Let's also think about longevity versus like, oh, my arms look really good in this strapless dress. Like, come on, guys. Like,
that's it. That perspective, right? Like, that puts some things in perspective.
I mean, do I wish I had a little less? Yeah, but like at the same time, like all this experience has really taught me that, and like now I'm thankful for it because it's gotten me into these habits that I will keep for the rest of my life.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'm an idiot. I go to the gym with my younger brother and just try and lift really heavy with him, and then I'm hurt all the time, and it's not like sustainable. So something for an old guy like me, like that yoga, some other things would probably be better.
It's always good to mix it up, but I also I strength train on the side as well. I go to the One Fitness in Gahanna. Highly recommend. Yeah, I work out with Mikey. He's great, and so. I like the strength training to complement it. I think it's super important. And I think women are starting to talk more about lifting heavy, which I think is really cool. But also, like, you can't just go and do it one day. You got to be smart about it because people will get hurt. So it's helpful. And, like, the community in all these places is so incredible. Like, and there's so much overlap, a lot of New Albany presence. So it's really fun. Yeah,
the fitness industry, I mean, it's just booming. It's growing like crazy, which is good. And I do think that... I think the gym that I go to, Fit 14, it's like you get a little bit of everything in there. Like it's just a cool vibe in there because you've got the older population, you've got young kids in there training, and everybody's training differently. So it's not. I feel like it's less segmented than it used to be.
Totally.
Cool.
And less intimidating, right?
For sure.
So that's got to get everybody in the doors so that everyone can be healthy.
100%. 100%. Sweet. Well, I'm glad we hopped back on.
I'm going to drop something else after we get off. I'm going to tell you about, I don't even know what.
No, we had to talk about the kidney. I had no idea. It's really cool.
Well, I will say that the kidney's name is Brutus, so go Bucks.
Oh, nice.
My brother named his kidney when he was a kid. It was like a thing when he, like, I guess the kids going through organ donation or, so we're all big Buckeyes fans. So,
so he named the kidney that he had or the kidney that he needed?
That he got from my dad. It was Brutus, and then I asked him about this kidney, like what he was going to name it, and he's like, well, Brutus too. I'm like, okay.
That's great.
Yeah, so go Bucks is the final thought.
Go Bucks. Awesome. Thanks again,
you.
Katie.
Have a good one. Oy.
Be sure to follow us on social media for news, updates, everything that's happening in New Albany. You can visit whitefencelivingpodcast.com.
Look forward to seeing you on the next episode of White Fence Living.
What I love about New Albany is the holiday tree lighting.
I love the Heights Center.
The walkability and convenience.
My favorite part of New Albany is you.